Great to see you all
Not the only
here.
thing that's dribbled down your chin, John. Sorry.
You've been peaking again. Ian, welcome back.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you. It's been a minute,
It's been a
right?
while, isn't it? It's been a while.
Hey, Lee, can I just say something? People always say that I was a pioneer. That man on the end right there, he's the true pioneer.
100%, 100%.
Gents, it's really special for me to be in your company today. It truly is. This is going to be a lot of fun. I hope these guys have some great questions for you. But selfishly, I get to go first. So with that, Ian, I had a few questions ready, but actually, just backstage, I saw you getting into the octagon, having a little bit of a move around. Like, this is an interesting moment, I guess. What was it like when you managed to do that? 'Cause it's been a little while since you were fighting for the very first time in the UFC.
Oh, yeah. 2000 was the year that I started the UFC. 23 years ago, my God. Yeah, so to step in there, the feelings come back. The good thing is there is an opponent opposite me, so I was safe. I was all right. But the feeling, it just brings that buzz back. There's nothing can give a buzz like standing in the octagon. It beats any drug, any drink. I was going to say any women, but I'd be lying. But man, what a feeling that is. It's unbelievable.
You had a long career and you've done a lot of stuff as well outside of fighting, but that round one finish of Frank Mir, UFC 38 here in London, of all of your accomplishments, how high does that stack up?
Well, that obviously has to be the best. Everyone speaks about that one. He was unbeaten. He was the UFC poster boy. I was never supposed to win that fight. I had another person on my side. I just lost my father, so nobody could have beat me that night. Nobody. Maybe Tom Aspinall might have, but nobody would have beat me that night. I was on fire. I was on form. Definitely the best fight of my career.
What's excellent about this as well is there's a big turnaround. We've got you guys here. You're all the generations. This sport's so very young. Mark Weir will be in the building tomorrow with one of his students. Like, how cool is that? You shared the card with him on UFC 38.
I've just met Mark's actually backstage. He's backstage, and I've just seen him. Great to see him again after all these years. We were just talking. Me and Mike haven't seen each other for 10 years, but you know that you've got a close bond when you see each other, and it's just like yesterday, isn't it? So it's good. Mike has gone on to do some amazing things, more than I ever achieved, and I'm so proud of that man. For those that don't know, we used to be sparring partners back in the day. I helped get Mike ready for some of his UFC fights, so it's nice to see where he's achieved.
I had my first ever fight on one of Ian's shows, Pride and Glory. Never paid me a penny.
Can I just... Right, hang on, right.
Hey, I was very grateful for the opportunity.
Yes,
the ball. I was a nobody.
His manager contacted me about 3 days before the fight. He said, I've got this up-and-coming guy. I think were you light heavyweight back then?
Say again?
Were you light heavyweight or heavyweight even?
I think I was heavyweight.
You were heavyweight
like
back
now.
Then. Yeah, so I was heavyweight back then. I've got this up-and-coming star, blah, blah, blah. And I went, well, the fight card's full. And he went, oh, go on, you'll not regret it. Didn't know who Mike was, never even seen him. He fought on his show and he beat the guy in seconds. And look where he's come now. Absolutely amazing.
No, cheers, mate.
Brad Pickett, everyone. Brad, you've always been a fan favourite, but speaking of favourites, what have been your favourite moments fighting in the UFC? Perhaps if you had one in London as well. Or...
No, 100%. My favourite moments of my UFC career was fighting in this hometown in here. I was born in Whitechapel, so I was East London. This is just literally a stone's throw from my house. But yeah, no, man, this is
Love that.
Yeah, so then obviously fighting in front of the crowd. For me, fighting obviously is a sport, but for me it was also an entertainment sport, and I always felt like I needed to put on a good show for the fans. So no matter how the fight was going, I wanted to make it exciting, and the crowd liked it.
Oh yes, they did. Still got the braces? Pull those out special occasions?
They're still back at home. Yeah.
Jimi Manuwa.
Let's go, Chuck.
Jimmy, when I say March 2017, Corey Anderson, what's the first thing that comes into mind?
Right, probably the best night of my career, actually. I love that night.
What was it like to have that kind of power where you could put someone out with one shot? Because there's like 0.1% of the population that might even understand that.
Ooh, it's a God-given gift and that, so, you know, it's like, you just got to train to put the person out to sleep, that's it.
Jimmy, he said bring your mic up.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got it. Okay, Tom Aspinall. First of all, Tom, I mean, what's it like hanging around with all of these guys that laid the foundations?
Well, I'm in with the UFC legends, aren't I, today? Looking to be one myself in the future, obviously. And it's an honour.
Well, on that note then...
Which is a really polite way of calling us old bastards.
I didn't want to mention the weight that you've got going there, Mike, but I'm pretty sure you're heavier than me right now.
Come on, Tom. Still got it.
Looks like you're moving around. How's the knee?
The knee is fantastic right now. Back in training. And, hey, listen. I just want to get one thing straight. We need to secure another UK card for this year. And I've got that big Polish dummy calling me out online. So if Marcin Tybura wants it, let's bring him back to the UK this summer. Come on, please.
Tom Aspinall's starting a bit hot these days, isn't he, Mike? Straight in there, get it out. Nice one, like the call out. Michael Bisping. I get to talk to you quite a bit, Michael, but this a question that I wouldn't typically ask you, I guess, is Leon Edwards. He got that title. You were the first man to get the strap. Like, what did it mean to you personally to see another Brit follow in your footsteps and know what it feels to have a UFC belt wrapped around them?
I mean, I always said it. Yeah, I was very lucky to be the first, but I'm not going to be the last. You know, obviously we've got Leon. Fingers crossed he defends tomorrow night. We got this guy right here. He's got UFC heavyweight champ written all over him. Arnold Allen, if he beats Max Holloway, we've got to think there's a title fight on the horizon there. So, yeah, I mean, listen, it's got nothing to do with me. I mean, I did my career. Leon's done it himself through blood, sweat, and tears and hard work. You know, as I said, Ian Freeman was doing it way before me. You know, so yeah, it's nice, you know, to be the first to win a belt, of course, and that means a lot to me. But, you know, I just leave that there. You know, can't keep banging on about it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Let's open it up to the floor then. We're going to go to our members of the media first. I'm not sure. Please make a noise. Oh, there we go. Oscar, go for it.
There's a question for Tom Aspinall. Tom, you just called out Marcin Tybura. I'm curious, what is it about him that you want to fight so much? By the way, here in England.
He said, why do you want to fight Marcin Tybura so much?
Well, at the moment, there's not many free guys in the top 10. Everyone's matched. And as far as I can see, that he's the only guy who's willing to take the fight. He wants to fight, he said verbally. And if someone says publicly that they want to fight me, of course I want to fight him. I ain't backing down from no one. And we're two European guys. Let's do it in the UK.
You recently put a picture up on your social media of you looking particularly muscular. I'm curious, what's the difference between Tommy Two Legs and the guy we saw last time?
Tommy Two Legs is a dangerous man. A very dangerous man that no one has seen yet. No one's seen me yet.
Sounds like a nonce.
Fair play. Fair play.
Ooh, Tommy Two Legs is here.
That's the last time I'll ever mention that, apparently, when he's fucking put that in my mind.
Yeah, well done, Oscar.
Sorry, lads. Michael, for you, you mentioned Tom Aspinall has future heavyweight champion over him. Maybe not Tommy Two Legs anymore. Why is he the guy to beat John Jones?
Well, when you look at Tom, I mean, it's clearly evident the skill that he has. You know, he's got the footwork. He moves like a middleweight. He's got great jiu-jitsu. We've seen the wrestling. We've seen the striking. He's a hell of an athlete. He's an ugly bastard, which is a shame, because otherwise he'd be really
You can tell he's only got one eye with comments like that. Stand a little bit closer, Mike. I'm pretty handsome, you know.
So it's a real shame, obviously, what happened last time with Curtis Blades. Yeah, Curtis has that down as a win, but it wasn't a real win. But, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, of course, listen, I think this man, I truly believe he will be champion one day. And to take it from John Jones, obviously not an easy thing, but wouldn't that be something, Tom?
That would be something. And I really believe I can do it, you know. I don't want to be one of these people who just talking. I'm not that kind of guy. I want to work my way up. I don't deserve the fight yet. Nowhere near deserve the fight. Get some more experience, and then I want to take out the GOAT.
And last one from me, starting with you, Mike. We've got a big fight with Leon Edwards and Kamaru. How does that fight go? Who wins?
Who wins?
Yeah, for all of you, please.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to stand there in front of you lot and say Kamaru wins, am I? But yeah, I said I'm not going to say that. I don't know if you're paying attention. But I can't publicly make a prediction. I'm commentating the fight. And I always say that it's very, very disrespectful to both men. If a commentator was to say beforehand, this guy or that guy's going to win, yeah, it's pretty disrespectful. However, I see a clear path to victory for both men. You know, for Kamaru Usman, it's the wrestling. Of course it is. Rounds 2, 3, and 4 last time, he used it to great effect. If Leon can keep the fight on the feet, I think it's Leon's fight all day. He's clearly the better striker. That's what this fight comes down to. Can Kamaru take him down or not? What do you lot think? Hold on. Does Leon win? Does Kamaru win?
Ian, some analysis on that main event, please, for tomorrow night. Who have you got in the main event tomorrow?
Well, obviously, we want the Brit, don't we? Of course, we want Leon to win. I was so happy for him. I actually thought he was going to win the last time. But then into the 4th round, I was thinking, oh, God, my prediction is so wrong. But he pulled it out the bag, and that's what fighting is all about. Takes one little mistake, and you've lost the fight.
Brad?
Obviously, I'm going to back my countryman, but obviously, looking at the task at hand, it's going to be hard. So for me, it's going to be a lot on Usman. For me, Usman fell in love with the striking against what he's been doing. He's been doing well in the striking. And that was a dangerous tactic against someone like Leon. So it all depends. If he wants to just be a bit more boring and just wrestle, it's going to be a hard job for Leon. So it's going to be his job to try and keep it on the feet, you know. So like what Mike said, you know. But I'm rooting for Leon.
Come on, Jimmy, what you got?
I think I'm going for Leon. I'm friends with both of them and all that, and I think Leon can match him everywhere. You know, I watched the fight last night, and I think Leon can match him everywhere. I think Leon takes it.
Tom?
Let's not dick around anymore. Leon is going to knock him spark out again. Come on.
Next question. Remember that if you can stand up, whoever is going next. Hello, sir.
Question for Bisping. In all 30 years of the UFC, what is your single favourite fight of all time?
Oh, man. My favourite fight, personal. Yeah, not Ian Freeman, Frank Mir, although belter. To be honest, let me see. There's been so many, hasn't there? But what's his face? Dan Henderson versus Shogun. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, that was an unbelievable fight. I mean, Vanderlei Silva and Chuck Liddell, that was a good one. And there's been some amazing fights over the years. There are two that spring to mind for sure. But it's hard. Thousands and thousands and thousands of fights. To pick one, it's difficult.
And Tom, as well, you mentioned that John Jones is the GOAT. Most people agree with you. Who comes closest to challenging him for that title?
Yeah, GSP, of course. My man knows it over there, who just said it. It's between them two, innit? They've both done it at 2 weights. They're both so dominant. They're both, it's between them two.
All right, let's hope we got
No love for Anderson Silva?
I thought Anderson Silva.
He was on the old steroids, though, weren't he, Anderson Silva?
Whoa. If we're going to talk about picograms. Love John, by the way.
Next question, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Just for a question over here for Michael Bisping, just in front of you.
Boom.
Yeah.
There we go.
You have first-hand experience of defending your title for the first time in front of your home crowd. What was that experience like for you? And can you give us some insight into how Leon must be feeling going into this weekend?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, everyone dreams of that. When you're a fighter, that's literally like, you imagine that as a fairy tale scenario, you know, winning the belt, bringing it home to your country and your home city and defending it in front of everyone. So, yeah, an incredible moment and one of the highlights of my career, obviously. But it's a very, very nervous moment as well. There's a lot of pressure on you. And for me, when I fought Henderson, first time, I got sparkled. I got knocked out really badly. And you can lie to everyone, but you can't lie to yourself. You can talk to the media, you can do interviews, even your friends and family say, yeah, I'm confident, I'm good. But then on the day, you know, I started thinking, last time I stepped in a cage with this guy, I got knocked out unconscious and the whole world laughed at me. So the nerves started to creep in. And to be honest, That's what Kamaru's going to go through tomorrow night because he doesn't know it. And he's a very, very special athlete. So I'm not saying that he can't come back from that because you can. But still, he probably isn't aware until the final few hours of preparation when you're led in bed, you're trying to take a nap, trying to save your energy for the fight, and you find you can't sleep because, hold on a minute, the realization you're going to fight this man again and you might get put to sleep in front of the whole world. It's a nerve-wracking thing. And for Leon, again, listen, it's a tough moment. He knows he's got a tough fight on his hands. I do favor Leon on the feet 100%. All comes down to those takedowns. So at the end of the day, you do what you can in training camp, and what will be, will be.
Who's next? If you can stand up as well, please, that'd be great. Oh, we're over here. Okay, go for it.
Question for Brad Pickett. It's a bit of a lighthearted one. I know you're a prankster around the gym. How many fighters in your career would you say you've pantsed over the years?
Man, that's the hard one. Many. I probably pants fighters after they're winning their fights. Just that alone, probably 10 times. So that, but in the gym, it's countless. I mean, there's no numbers.
Sounds like you and Tommy Two Legs have been hanging about.
Yeah. I'd be more worried than Tommy Three Legs.
I think you need to just break down what pantsing actually is for the uninitiated.
Is when you go behind someone and you pull their trousers down.
Good game.
And question for Bisping. Some of my favorite interactions were between you and GSP. I'm just wondering if you have like a story or an interaction between you and GSP that we haven't heard before.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, George is just the perfect gentleman. So I acted like a bit of an idiot, but that was my role in that. I had to wind him up and, be the bad guy, if you will. George is like literally one of the best human beings you can ever meet. So I was doing that whole bit, winding him up, talking trash, whatever you want to call it. And we were at the ESPN studios in Bristol, Connecticut. And I was, giving it the whole bit. TMZ are there, they're filming and whatever. So I'm like, security are pulling me off. I'm acting like that idiot. But then I went for a pee. And when I went to the toilet, I'm standing at the urinal and George is there. We're standing next to each other. And we both know there's no cameras, there's no one looking. So we're just having a normal conversation. We're chatting about our cars. He said, what are you driving these days? And we're just having a little chat, and then you zip yourself up, you wash your hands. I went, right, mate, I'll see you out there in a minute. I'll have to go back to being a dick again.
Very good. We're going to take some fan questions now. I think you were first to the mic. Yeah, please.
I just want to contradict Michael. Everything has to do with you, buddy. You were the first one to do it.
Where are we looking here? Oh, my guy.
What's up, man? You good?
Fantastic.
First man
I
to
am
do
not
it?
intoxicated.
First man to do it? UFC Hall of Famer, everything has to do with you. Do you agree?
Not really, but it's very kind. Thank you.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Good stuff. Young sir, I believe, down there, please.
I'm a brown belt. Once I've got my black belt, I plan to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Is this the best route?
Who would you like to ask that to?
All of you.
Great stuff. Well, let's start at the other end. Nice one. Ian.
How old are you?
9.
9 years old. I've got dirty socks under my bed older than you. 9 years old is the perfect age to start. The younger, the better. But jiu-jitsu, yes, definitely. Jiu-jitsu and wrestling, if you want to go to the ground. Yeah? But yeah, you keep it up. I'm proud of you.
Train hard, mate.
We're going to keep going. Stay there, in case you've got a little follow-up for our guys. Brad, any advice?
Well, for me, you got a head start. I started fighting at 26, so I was an old man. But my honest advice would be wrestling, for me, is one of the most important parts of MMA, because if you can control the wrestling, you can dictate where the fight takes place. So if you've got better wrestling, you can keep it standing. You have better wrestling, you can take it to the floor. So I think wrestling is very important.
Jimmy, you loved wrestling, so what's your advice?
Honestly, I think you started at a perfect age. And I think when you get a bit older, start doing some boxing, some striking and that, and then you're good to go.
Tom, you were probably a similar age when you were doing comps, weren't you?
Yeah, I think he's got a little head start on me, to be honest. I think I was a little bit older than him, to be honest. And yeah, do what you enjoy. Try everything. Do every aspect. And what you enjoy the most is what you'll generally do the best at. So just stick in the gym, get a little routine, and keep turning up.
Champy wants to hear from you, surely.
What's your name, mate?
Freddie.
Freddie. If you want to do a bit of sparring after, give me a shout. I could do a bit of target practice. No, you keep going, mate. Listen, you can do anything you want to in this world, anything at all. I'm living proof of that. So if you work hard, have a plan, stick to it, and be disciplined, you can do anything you want.
Good luck to you, Freddie. Thank you very much for your question. We're going to go to the other side of the room, please. Yes.
Michael Bisping, the legend. If you were still active on the middleweight roster, who would you want to fight and why?
I mean, obviously, you always want to fight the champ. You know what I'm saying? Izzy was a tremendous champion for a long time. Pereira, I mean, that man's something special, isn't he? You know what I mean? So I don't know if I fancy that one, to be honest. But yeah, you always want that. You always want the hardest fight possible. Anyone that's on the roster, any of this lot here, you always want the toughest fights. You know, because we're all human. No one's scared of anybody. You know, you want to test yourself. You want to get what they have. You want to be the champion. You want to make the most out of your career. So, yeah, I mean, right now, the middleweight division's flying. Robert Whittaker, we were actually matched up, but I had to have surgery, so that fight never happened. Love Robert. What a guy. What a legend. Incredible fighter. So, yeah, Robert would have been awesome as well.
Nice one. Throwing it back over here. Thank you.
Sorry, my question is for the poster boy, Jimi Manuwa, man. You're an absolute legend. I was in this building when you knocked out Corey Anderson to another dimension.
Thank you very much.
Also, Bisping's Manchester card, you knocked out OSP. You beat Jan Blachowicz. I was going to say, I thought you deserved a title shot in the 205. There was a bit of stuff between you and DC. There was a bit of back and forth. Were you close to getting a title shot? Because I thought you deserved it. Huge fan.
Thanks very much, man. Yeah, I was one fight away from the title shot, but then I lost to Ozdemir, and then I went on a bit of a losing streak, and then that led to my retirement. So, yeah, I was one fight away, though.
Absolute legend.
Thanks very much, man.
Great memories. Over this side, thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Question for Michael. I'm going to give you the opportunity to play matchmaker here. Edwards and Usman at the O2 is a great fight, but what fight out there could be held in a UK stadium? Realistic
What fight in any of the UFC? I mean, they can all be held there, can't they? Well, are you saying what would I choose?
Yeah, if you could play matchmaker, maybe let's say I'll give you a couple of options. Maybe
Go on.
Aspinall Jones.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd love to see that, but as Tom says, he's got a little bit of work to do yet. You know, because John Jones, he's fighting Stipe. You know, he only wants those top-level guys. Tom needs what? What would you think, Tom? 1 or 2?
I think I need about 3 more,
yeah,
at least,
yeah.
to deserve that.
So, yeah, we could say that, but we've got to be realistic. You know what I mean?
Maybe this is realistic. If Edward wins tomorrow, could we see Edwards McGregor?
I mean, Leon get that red panty night. And I don't know if you know this, Leon's significantly bigger than McGregor. You don't really get the context on TV. That'll be a good night and a good payday for Leon.
I'm so I'm back in Leon, so
yeah,
I'd
man.
love that fight.
Yeah, no. Do you know what? To be honest, if McGregor beats, who's he fighting? Michael Chandler. If he beats Chandler, he'll get a title shot. He's that big of a star, you know what I mean? And everyone's going to buy it. And he doesn't look like he's getting to 155 anytime soon. So maybe Leon gets that payday.
Let's go, Leon.
Thank you very much. Over to this side of the building. Thank you. Step forward to the mic.
Hi. There's been a lot of talk about what's next for Conor, but what do you think happens for Chandler if he wins that fight?
Is it for someone other than Michael Bisping?
I'll ask it to the whole panel.
There you go. Oh, you got to.
He weren't even paying attention. Oh, Tommy Two Legs.
Jimmy had something to say. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I don't know. Does he get a title shot? Chandler? If Chandler wins? He's lost a few, isn't he?
The problem is lightweight's so stacked, isn't it? I mean, you've got Islam Makhachev, then you've got Beneil Dariush. Who's he fighting? He's got a fight coming up. If he wins that, he should be fighting Islam. I mean, Gagey, Fazeev this weekend, the winner of that. You know, so, I mean, listen, if Chandler beats Conor McGregor, I think he gets a title fight because the man is in the most exciting fights all the time. He is must-see TV every time he steps foot in the octagon. And if he gets a big win over Conor McGregor, I think that puts him right at the front of the line.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to this side of the building. You're up, sir. Don't turn away now. This is your big moment.
Hello, my name's Ali from Croydon Legacy Youth Zone. So I have a kind of two-part question. So the first one is if you have any advice for young people who want to start MMA. And the second one is if Tom Aspinall would want to spar me.
You know what the weirdest thing is, right? In the last 2 days, I've been called out more than I ever have in my full career. Everyone wants to fucking beat me up. What's going on?
That's what happens, Tom.
That's what... Yesterday, was at the press conference yesterday. Some guy tapped me on the shoulder. Some big guy, my size. And I turned around and he went, I'm going to be in the UFC in 2 years, and I'm going to fuck you up.
Oh, shit. And what did you say?
Sorry.
I think this man was from Croydon, so I've got to point this question to Jimmy.
For young kids starting up, like, I walked into the gym when I was 28 years old, and then I got to where I got to, and that. So for young kids going into the gym and trying to do MMA, it's 100% you should do it. So keep it up.
South London's own, Brad Pickett, he's got a gym as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, 100%. All I would do is find out somewhere local to yourself, a good gym. My gym's actually not too far from Croydon. I got a Great Britain top team, which is in Morden. We have a lot of fantastic players. We have a good youth program. So what you want to do, get yourself in there and start your journey, you know. And I think it's a very good thing for people at your sort of age just to get focused on, because there's a lot, especially as Jimmy knows, down in that area, you know, Croydon, there's a lot of things you could get mixed up in. You know, get yourself in the gym, knuckle down, and change your life.
Love it. Thank you.
Hey, main thing is, mate, dream big. Dream big, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it, because you can if you believe in yourself. And it sounds cheesy, but if you conceive, believe, and achieve, then who knows? One day you might be an old bastard sat up here.
Very good. We've got 10 minutes before we have to let these guys get out of here and get ready for the big weigh-in, but we're going to go to this side of the building. Yes, please.
Afternoon, chaps. I've got a question for the British MMA GOAT, Sir Brad. Unfortunately, one of yours, Nathaniel Wood, is out with injury, freak injury. Earlier we were discussing how does everyone fit into the title picture. So how does Nathaniel fit in at that weight class?
Yeah, but obviously for me, I think Nathaniel has been looking fantastic since he's moved up a weight class. Everyone always thinks about cutting weight, losing loads of weight is the be-all and end-all, but it's not, obviously, and it shows many people moving up weight class. You look at Dustin Poirier, done fantastic things since moving up weight class. I think Nathaniel's been looking great. Such an unfortunate thing, he's not on his card. He probably has one of the worst luck of any British fighter I've ever known. He's had back-to-back UFC London cards fell through on him. You know, so I feel for him, but he'll be back with vengeance. I've got messages from him now saying you need to find out when the next UK card is or European card. So he's eager to get back. He's back in the gym training now. So yeah, hopefully we have him back out soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you know who else had a load of bad luck?
What's that?
Do you know who else had a load of bad luck? Leon Edwards. And look at him now. So he can come back around, right? Okay, we're going over here. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Question for Bisping. I know you said that you wouldn't predict the fight because of your respect for the two fighters. So I won't ask you who you think is going to win. I'm just going to ask you what round do you reckon Edwards knocks Usman out?
I mean, you know what, to be honest, he could get it done in the first round. Look at what happened last time. The first round, I think he really surprised him, took him down, took his back, mounted him. I'd have been all kinds of trouble. And then even in rounds 2, 3, and 4, he did a really good job of stopping the takedowns or getting back up when he was taken down. So he wasn't outclassed. He was just a little bit behind in those rounds. I think Usman's going to be very, very careful. He's going to be very tentative. Of course, last time he got knocked out, you know, so he might be a little bit gun-shy, a little hesitant. Leon's grown in confidence. He's really grown into being a champion. And I think he's going to come out super aggressive. So I'm not saying it happens, but you never know. Maybe round 1.
Thank you very much. Also, I think this crowd's been a bit quiet, so if we can get a chant for Tommy Aspinall. Oh, Tommy, Tommy!
Tommy. I'll set it up for you. That's the wrong chant. Na 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 na.
Tommy Aspinall.
Tommy Aspinall.
Thank you.
Well done, fellas. Yeah, if you can shout really loud, let's get this question out.
This
Good
is
man.
a question for all the fighters on the stage. In 3 weeks, I'll be having my first ever MMA fight, so I was just
Let's go,
wondering
champ.
what would be your advice to me in preparation and on fight night?
Jimmy.
I think listen to your coaches and focus on what you've been training to do, and just stay focused.
Ian, advice?
Yeah, doubt is the biggest killer in any fighter. Have I trained hard enough? Has he been training harder than me? When you get backstage and you're shaking and you can't hit them pads, just flick the switch. You know what you've done. You know what your coach has done for you. You know how good you are. Be positive.
Love that. Brad?
Yeah, similar to what Ian said, for me, it's all about your confidence and your preparation. So you still have 3 weeks out. And also when it comes to your first fight, a lot of nerves always there, right? And what you've learned goes out the window sometimes. So normally, sometimes the fittest guy, whoever's in a better shape, has a good heart, was going to win. So get yourself in great shape, my friend, and you do well.
Any wisdom from you, Big Tom?
Is this going to be your only fight, or are you planning to go on and have more fights?
Well, I'm planning to go carry on. It's for Ultra MMA. I'm pretty sure you...
Yes, I am an
are
Ultra
advert.
MMA ambassador. That is correct. Yes. You got to remember, even if you have 20 fights, 30 fights, whatever, that's only 30 times in your whole life. So try and cherish each moment. Don't rush through it. Don't pen yourself up too much. Just go and enjoy it. Go and enjoy yourself out there. And yeah, it's a special moment, and go and enjoy it.
My advice?
Always go.
This sounds obvious. Breathe, right? Because you forget to breathe because you're so nervous and you're holding your breath and you're fighting. You're like, why am I getting so tired? Because you're not breathing. So try and stay calm, enjoy yourself, take some deep breaths.
Thank you very much. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Over to the other side of the building, please.
Yeah. Question for Tom. How do you find the balance between celebrating all your success and victories and stuff, living in the now, while also trying to progress and get better?
Well, he doesn't
every day?
answer my texts anymore, so he's got a bit more free time.
Okay.
That's mainly because I don't like you that much. No, I love you, Mike. Well, I've not achieved my goal yet. I've nowhere near achieved it. My goal is to be the best heavyweight on the planet. One day I want to wake up and know that I'm the best heavyweight on the planet. That's my dream. Just for one day, that's what I want to do. And I've not achieved it yet, so I'm hungry to get more, especially after this injury. I'm hungry. I'm so hungry to go and get it now.
Great. Also, Jimmy, when is your comeback?
I won't be fighting in the UFC, but I think I'm going to do some boxing fights before I fully hanging them up and that.
There we go. There's an exclusive. Jimmy's coming back. He's putting on the big gloves. The man in the red jacket, please take your spot at the microphone.
For sure. This is a question for Tommy Aspinall. First of all, who's your barber? That cut's crazy. The haircut's insane.
You don't like it?
No, your haircut's insane. It's amazing.
Oh, it's good?
In a
Yeah,
good
it's
way.
real good. It's real good.
Thank you.
And second of all, second question is, heavyweights pack a lot of power, obviously. Do you have a little bit more nerves fighting a heavyweight like Derek Lewis that has a lot of more powers in his hand and is looking for a one-shot knockout? Or somebody who, like John Jones, who's going to be a little bit more technical, a little bit more savvy and wants to get maybe a submission?
You got to remember, at heavyweight, it's different. I always think heavyweight MMA is it's almost like a sport of its own. It has its own rules, heavyweight MMA. It doesn't matter how much better you are, technically superior to your opponent. It just takes one. It doesn't have to be a guy like Derek Lewis. It can be anybody. Anybody can knock anyone out at any time. So, to answer your question, I'm scared of them all, but it doesn't stop me doing what I'm going to do and be the UFC heavyweight champion.
I'm sure they're scared of you as well, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
I think so.
We're going to try with just one question, folks, so we can rattle through a few more. We've only got a few seconds left. We'll do our best in the England shirt. Go ahead.
My name is Ronald from Croydon Legacy Youth Zone. Who do you think is the greatest UFC fighter of all time?
Who would you like to answer that one? Let's go to Jimmy. Did we hear Croydon? We got to go Jimmy.
For me, it's I have two fighters, either Anderson Silva or Jose Aldo.
And Ian?
To be honest, I think fights make styles. I never pick one name. I watch a fight. I enjoy it. I enjoy the sport. I love the sport. Everybody who steps in the UFC is a champion in my eyes. You've got to be at that level to get into the UFC. So everybody, I take my hat off to them all.
Nice one. Thank you very much. We're going over here. Yes, please, sir.
So my question is for all of you. So if Rafael will win this fight versus Gaethje, what's your prediction if he will fight versus Islam Makhachev for the champion?
Yeah. I'll go first. Well, he said this week, which was very honest of him, that he believes Beneil Dariush should get the shot. But he said if he gets the shot, he'll take it. But if he beats Justin Gaethje, he's right there. What do you reckon, Tom?
I mean, you never know. You never know. I think we're yet to see too much of Fizie's grappling, so I'd like to see a little bit more of that. But his striking's amazing. He's great all round, and he's really dangerous. So you never know.
Makhachev versus Fiziev. What do you reckon?
I think Islam wins. He's a great champion, and I don't see anyone in the lightweight division beating him anytime soon.
Lightweights, your thoughts?
For me, Fiziev, if in this sort of division was so stacked, sometimes who wins more impressively is the talk of the town. So if he does a great job against Gaethje, does like a real good knockout, you put him right in the picture. You know, if Gaethje does the same thing himself, you put him in the picture. If Chandler does, whatever does well and looks really good, tends to get up the cube pretty quick.
Ian, your thoughts?
Yeah, Islam's one of the greatest. He's going to go on to do big things. But let's not rule out Gaethje. Gaethje, he does take some damage in his fights, but this man can come back from anything. I'm looking forward to his fight tomorrow night, much so.
Heck of a fight. Brilliant stuff. Yes, please.
Hello, everybody. I'm 41 now, old as fuck, unfortunately, and had to give the game up. I used to train under Mr. Bisping. Mr. Bisping, it's Angry Adam Bottrell from Blackburn.
Hello, mate. How are you?
All right, brother.
I'm not known for my vision, but I can see you now.
I've heard a story. My question is, last week I threw myself back into the game and contended in a grappling tournament because I fucking miss it. 10 years out, it's a killer watching the sport that you love and not doing it. So for the guys who stopped now, Brad, Ian, Mick and Jimmy, how do you give yourself that challenge? How do you give yourself that zest now to fill the massive gap that was MMA competition?
Let's start with Ian.
Yeah, well, we've just been speaking about this actually on the way over here on the bus. Most fighters, when they're at the top of the game, not even on the top of the game, but winning fights, it's a drug that you cannot replace. And then when they retire, there's a lot of mental health in the fight game. You will be surprised at how many fighters have retired and their mental health has deteriorated. What have I done? Save lives, paramedic. That's what I do now. That's my buzz.
Brad, you hung your gloves up here. How does it work?
Well, for me, when I got into the sport, it wasn't really, like I said, it wasn't really a sport. Even my weight class, I was always competition driven. I wasn't worried about money. I just wanted to be the best in the world, and if you worry about the money, it's the wrong route. I was super competitive, and now since retiring, I'm still super, I still want to win everything I do. But now I've channeled it more into coaching. So now I'm competitive with my fighters. Yeah, again, from here, I woke over there and back in the O2 and the Indigo. 4 guys competing tonight on Cage Warriors. And so if anyone going to Cage Warriors tonight, I see you there as well. And that's what we do now. I coach, and my passion is through them, and I want them to do the best. I've had my shine in the limelight, and now it's my job to help them shine.
Sounds like you're right in the middle of this kind of thought process, Jimmy. So how would you answer this guy?
I'm still dealing with it now. So I watch the fights, I watch every card, and I think, I can beat him, whatever. So
I do too.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm going to do a couple more boxing fights and everything, just to kill that itch and that. But it's hard. It's very hard. Just like Ian said, it's very hard.
Nice one. Couple more questions. We're going across the room.
Question for Tom. What's your prediction for Jones versus Miocic?
Good question.
It is a good question. I think these are 2 of the best heavyweights that we've ever seen in the sport, in my opinion. It can go either way, but I think with the inactivity of Stipe, and he's a little bit older now, Jones is, in my opinion, in his prime. I would lean towards Jones, but I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Okay. How do you match up against him?
I think Tom beats John Jones.
Oh, Jimmy.
Come on.
Love that. Okay, very quickly, on this side of the room.
Hello, Jimi Manuwa, a question for you. As a fighter, I would like to know, how's life after fighting and how much do you miss it?
I miss it a lot. Just like I said, man, I watch every card now and I want to get in there and compete and that. So it's very hard. But like I said before, I'm channeling my energy into boxing now. I'm going to do a few fights and then that's it.
Okay, thank you, man.
I'm going to squeeze one more. Probably get in trouble for it, but here we go.
Question for Bisping. Just, there's been a lot of talk about pound for pound recently. And if Usman wins tomorrow, where do you place him in the pound for pound conversation?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, isn't it? Because this sport moves along so fast. Usman was the pound for pound number one. He defended the belt 5 times, loses one fight, and then he's out of these conversations. It's crazy how fast the sport moves on. Of course, John Jones is back. You got Islam Makhachev. There's a few people. But what's Leon? I think Leon's now number 5. I think if Usman gets the job done, yeah, he's definitely one of the best. But the pound for pound thing, it's just an opinion based, whatever, just like being the GOAT. You don't have a trophy at home for it. It's just what people think. It's just an opinion. It's a very nice thing to have, but ultimately that's not what's important. What's important is Leon defending that fucking belt.
That sounds like a good place to wrap this up. Before we do let you guys go, just want to say I wouldn't be sitting here with this microphone if it wasn't for each of you, and all of you guys out there wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for these fellas right here. So please show your appreciation for
London.
Ian Freeman, Brad Pickett, Jimi Manuwa, Tom Aspinall, and Michael Bisping.